Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. I hope you had a wonderful 2019 and I hope you are ready to go for 2020. Just to make sure that you have some objectives for 2020, I thought today we would talk about some really good New Year's resolutions. Are you the type that makes resolutions? Let's see. My name is Karen Brown. I'm the publisher and editor of The Oldish, and I'm going to share my New Year's resolution list with you, and maybe you can join in and we can keep each other accountable. How's that sound? Here we go. Number one, move. Now, we talked about this a couple of shows ago. Moving is so important. 150 minutes a week, but it's better to start somewhere than do nothing at all and work your way up. Now, as we discussed a couple of weeks ago, your heart needs exercise as well. So it's not only moving your body to get that blood circulation and to help with digestion and to help you sleep better and get some fresh air, but it's also to exercise your heart and keep it from hardening. That's a really good resolution. 150 minutes a week. Now, I know that for those of us who live in snow belts, that can be a little difficult. I have a treadmill, but you really don't need any kind of equipment. I mean, if you have internet and a TV or a computer, jump on YouTube and find an exercise program that makes you happy. That might be Tai Chi, it might be yoga, it might be some kind of aerobic exercise. If you live in a community that has a Y or some kind of community exercise programs, jump into those. At the very least, find a buddy and get out and walk. It's important that we just move. So I'll see you on that treadmill. Number two, eat better. This is something I struggle with as someone who lives alone. It can be really, really boring to be cooking day after day after day after day for one person. It's not thrilling, but it's important for our health that we eat a good diet. Now, 41 diets were assessed in 2019, and for several years in a row, the number one diet has been the Mediterranean diet. So it focuses on less red meat, less sugar, less saturated fat, and more things like whole grains, fruits, vegetables, beans, nuts, and healthy fats such as olive oil. So making sure that your diet includes all of those things. I think on the Mediterranean diet, you can even have a glass of wine. Not a bad thing, right? If you like wine, I like wine. A nice Italian white dry wine. But I digress. Number three on my list is be social. I'll be honest, that is something that I can struggle with. I live by myself. I own my own business, so I do a lot of my work by myself. I do have staff who do work, but they do a different job than I do. So what I do is largely something I do on my own. Sometimes at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is go out. And on weekends, I get cleaning the house, I get doing laundry. I kind of forget about going out and being social. It is really something that an introvert like me has to push myself to do. So being social, it has been described as the number one health risk of our time. It can lead to cognitive decline, it can lead to depression, and it has also been linked with dementia. Honestly, these are clinical studies. There was one that we did an article on that came out of the University of Chicago, and that was the study that said that this was the number one health risk of our time. So it is ever so important to be mindful about getting out there and being social. Even if you just go to the grocery store and talk with people that you meet, it gets those endorphins clicking, and that's a really good thing for your overall well-being. So make sure you do that. Interact with people face to face as much as possible. I know I'm guilty of doing the digital thing a whole lot because I work online, but get out there, be social, face to face. I'm going to push myself to do a better job of that, and I hope you will too. Number 4 on my list is sleep. Sleep is something that, if you have poor sleep, leads to brain changes. And it has also been linked with bone density not being as good as it needs to be because you don't have that restorative sleep that rebuilds whatever you may have lost over time. So you need to make sure you get good sleep. Now, to be clear, when we're talking about good sleep, we are not talking about adding up the cat naps and the falling asleep in front of the TV or nodding off while reading a book. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about good sleep habits that see you getting to bed at a regular time in a room that is comfortable, wearing clothes that are comfortable or not, whatever makes you happy. Just getting into a place where you are comfortable and getting that good, long, restorative sleep. If you can get 6 hours, that's great. If you can get 7 hours, that's better. If you can get 8, fantastic. I have trouble getting 8. I'm more of a 6-hour sleeper. And if I don't watch it, I do fall asleep in front of the TV. So I try very hard to keep myself awake. Now, that being said, a little bit of a nap midday is not necessarily a bad thing, but you do have to make sure to limit it. Set yourself a little timer and make sure you're not sleeping more than 20 or 30 minutes. That's really all you need to give you that extra boost to get through the rest of the day if you need a bit of energy. That good long restorative sleep at night, though, that is absolutely what you need. So those are my 4 New Year's resolutions for 2020. I hope that you will join in. If you've got other New Year's resolutions that you think we could all benefit from sharing in, leave them in the comments below. And we'll see how many people can pick up on what you're doing and add it to their list. I might add it to my list too, but for sure, those 4 things. So to all of you out there, a Happy New Year. And as I say at the end of every show, takes a village to age a senior. And I hope that throughout 2020, we will remember to look after one another and make it a good year for not only ourselves, but everyone we love. Bye for now.